From the Athens Tech Studios, this is the Athens-Clarke County Cast, covering the latest stories that affect you in and around Athens. Now, let's give you our top stories.
Hello and welcome to the Athens-Clarke County Cast, one of FeedSpot's top 20 Georgia news podcasts. My name is Melissa Carter. If you're looking for something different, there's a steamroller coming to Athens for the purpose of printmaking. Sound intriguing? Well, Noah Lagle with the Lyndon House Arts Center joins us to talk about it soon. But first, here are your top stories brought to you by Drake Realty. Tragedy struck just east of downtown Athens as investigators worked to determine the cause of a fatal single vehicle crash. The accident occurred just before 3 p.m. on Sunday near Herman and Vines Streets. Athens-Clarke County Police arrived to find a Chevrolet pickup truck engulfed in flames, and the driver, whose identity has not yet been confirmed, did not survive. This marks the fourth deadly accident investigated by the department this year. This from Fox 5. In a disturbing incident, a Lawrenceville man faces multiple charges after a minor was kidnapped, leading to several hit-and-run accidents. Athens-Clarke County Police have identified the suspect as 19-year-old Jerron Keys. The incident occurred early Monday, with police responding to Highland Park Drive shortly before 5 a.m. Keys was located on Westchester Drive following the accidents. He faces charges including child molestation, kidnapping, statutory rape, reckless conduct, 3 counts of hit and run, failure to maintain lane, and unsafe tires. The minor was taken to the hospital for treatment. This from Atlanta News First. An Athens-Clarke County Commission committee is considering significant changes to trash collection services outside the old Athens city limits. These changes might affect residents in the county's general service district, potentially ending the use of preferred private trash haulers and self-hauling to the landfill. Before any changes are implemented, the Legislative Review Committee will survey district residents. The proposed survey will be reviewed at the committee's August 8th meeting, with a new garbage collection proposal possibly presented to the full commission by November. This from the Athens Banner-Herald. Are you an artist? Someone who's interested in printmaking? Well, you can be a novice or a pro or anywhere in between, because coming up in September in Athens at the Lyndon House Arts Center is a steamroller printmaking workshop and event with an actual steamroller to make the prints. Noah Lagle of the Lyndon House Arts Center joins us coming up to tell you all about it.
A new, exciting podcast about dads for dads. Legacy Makers, a conversation for dads. Download now wherever you get your podcasts.
It pays to know your doctor. It pays to know your lawyer. And now more than ever, it pays to know your local real estate professional. Hi, I'm Jeffrey Drake with Drake Realty, and we have 7 offices in the metro Atlanta area, including 2 right here in Cobb County and 1 at Lake Oconee. I'm the proud leader of over 700 agents here in Georgia, and we pride ourselves in professional service, whether you are the buyer or the seller. Drake Realty makes the home buying process seamless from contract to close. Our agents are a little different. They're not pushing for the quick sale and close. They are pushing for the best price and terms for their client. In other words, Drake Realty fights for you. Now's the time to buy that dream home, vacation home, or new home your family deserves. A lot of real estate agents talk big. Let my team at Drake Realty prove they will fight for you. I'm Jeffrey Drake, and I'd be honored to have my team serve you. Visit us online at drakerealty.com. And remember, it's not how quick you sell or buy, it's what the deal provides for your future.
Get ready for the event of the year, the AgPro GON Outdoor Blast Sportsman Show presented by Dallas Safari Club, sponsored by Georgia Drive Chevy and Georgia Outdoor News. Mark your calendars for July 26th through the 28th at the Lake Point Sports in Emerson, Georgia. Enjoy hundreds of vendors, exciting events, and tasty barbecue at the all-new Barbecue Village. Don't miss our hourly gun giveaways and the thrilling $1,000 shootout competition. Admission is just $10 and includes access to expert fishing seminars each and every hour. For more info, go to GON.com.
Noah Lagle joins us. He's with Lyndon House Arts Center. How are you? Thank you so much for joining us.
Doing great. Thanks for having me.
So a few weeks ago here on the podcast, we talked about the steamroller printmaking workshop and the events coming up in September. And I am just fascinated by this. So I was hoping maybe you could explain what's going on and how people can get involved.
There's lots of ways to get involved. Basically, at the end of September, we're going to be having a steamroller, which is, a roller that you'd see normally in the construction context, but we'll be using it as a printmaking press. So over the course of many weeks in September, we'll be having people, so you can sign up and make your own block, where over the course of a couple weeks, you'll be able to carve your image. And then at the end of the month, kind of the culminating event over the weekend will be anybody who's got something to run over, essentially, that they've inked, will be able to make a print that way by running over it with the big construction vehicle. And that'll be the way that the ink is transferred from the block to the paper or fabric.
I love the idea of bringing attention to printmaking and the process of that, because I think, now you tell me, my mother was an art teacher. I've always been into different types of arts because she did all different types of art. She taught art classes and she was an art teacher, like I said. So I am fascinated by all these things, but do you find a lot of people they're not sure if they're into it or not until they come to the Lyndon House Arts Center and realize, oh, wait a second, this is kind of cool?
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely what we do here in general, even beyond the workshops. We have a lot of really robust programming around the art that we show here in the building, but this is something that we did last year kind of as a tie-in to some of our shows. And right now we actually have a show up that unfortunately will be coming down before the event runs. But I do want to encourage people to come in right now. Right now, as part of the Celestial Bodies exhibit, there is a big multi-panel woodblock that has been used to make prints. People who are coming in right now, I've found, are pretty inspired and want to get involved by doing their own printmaking. And we do offer printmaking classes in our print shop at various times of the year. But this is going to be a really great way to kind of make it into a bit of a spectacle, really bring in some people who maybe don't make art or aren't excited about the way that they've seen it done in the past. And I think bringing in a construction vehicle, bringing the press outside, inviting people in a lot of different ways to get involved is a good way to kind of get new people excited about this particular art form. And it's also been a great way for printmakers who a lot of times are confined to smaller dimensions just because print presses don't get as big as a construction vehicle do. So it's been a really good opportunity for a lot of printmakers to just make bigger work. So that's been really cool to see too.
Well, Noah, I'm trying to visualize. So with it, again, this big steamroller, a normal size steamroller, if I come in and I decide to do my own carving and want something printed, is this steamroller going to do it like one at a time, or is it going to be like what I'm assuming is a lot of things being printed at once?
It is going to be one at a time. Even though it's big, I think the roller is about, 60 inches wide or something like that. And our blocks are 4 feet by 4 feet. We're trying to push the limit to the size that we were going to do. If we were to make the blocks a little bit smaller, we could potentially kind of run them all at once. But we're really trying to make sure that we're pulling prints that are of a professional quality. Because like I said, there are a lot of artists really excited to use this as an extension of their own studio practice. Last year, we pulled some really beautiful prints that we put on the wall for a couple of months here in the Art Center also. So we're kind of towing that line of trying to make this a spectacle and also really trying to make sure that the prints that we pull are of a really professional quality.
Well, Noah, I'm glad that you clarified that, because I was thinking about my art class in high school where our blocks were really small, right? So, they're not going to let an 18-year-old have a 4-foot block. So, so I'm glad you clarified that. But okay, let's go through the motions. If somebody wants to get involved, they want to do their block and they want to attend the event, what is the process in September they have to go through?
I would point them first and foremost to our programming webpage that you can find through our website. If you search Lyndon House Arts Center, you'll find us. And on our programming page, you'll see the steamroller printmaking event that you can sign up for. Right now, we have about half of the people enrolled that we'll be able to accept. So there's still plenty of room. There's plenty of information there that might answer some of the questions just as far as timing. And I will say that, like you were saying, just in the context of like handing off a large block to a first timer, it does take a bit of a commitment, but we did have, I'd say about half the people that we made prints with last year were first-time printmakers. You just come with an idea and really a commitment to finish, and you're going to walk away with something you'll be really proud of.
Does it cost anything for anyone to participate?
Yeah, it costs $30, which is a pretty subsidized rate. That's actually cheaper than what the wood would cost. Even for that price, you're getting your large wood block and you're getting all of the ink and fabric that you want to print on, up to 3 prints. basically you come and we have everything you need. So you don't need to bring anything other than an idea.
I love it. Noah Lagle with the Lyndon House Arts Center talking about their steamroller printmaking workshop and the event coming up at the end of September. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
Achieve more with Athens Tech. At Athens Technical College, their programs can connect you with in-demand and high-paying careers.
I graduated from Athens Tech in May and started my job 2 weeks later. I had the job before I left, thanks to my professor, and just focusing on growing a career.
As far as Athens Tech, I think I've been a member of the advisory panel for 10 years now, and it's been an awesome experience.
I'm currently going to Athens Tech. I started out as an accounting major. I've finished all my accounting classes and then switched over to the culinary and baking program.
My name is Alex Lang. I'm an electromechanical engineering student. This is my second year at Athens Tech, and I graduate in December. The long-term goal is to work for the railroad, whether that be Norfolk Southern or CSX.
Achieve more with Athens Tech. Find out more at athenstech.edu. Learn how to succeed and win big in life, plus much, much more. Listen to the Red Hot Read podcast, wherever you get your podcasts.
From the We Love Athens Facebook page, an anonymous post considering a move to Athens. I don't know where to start looking at homes. We love a neighborhood rundown. What areas are the most progressive thinking? Community feel, safe. Any other helpful information would be great. Robert Baker says Forest Heights is a safe, nice neighborhood, one of the oldest neighborhoods in Athens. Xavier Drayton said, I lived in the 30605 area, didn't have any problems over in that area. Arva Weinstein said Normaltown is the best, but it's gotten rather pricey. And Allison Rotberg said Boulevard area, Cobham Historic District, and 5 Points. Students at the University of Georgia are witnessing several construction projects across campus this summer. The MLC is undergoing a $4.28 million renovation to replace steam and condensate piping. The Hill community is seeing $20 million worth of updates to Boggs, Church, and Hill Halls, continuing last summer's renovations. Behind Black Diallo Miller Hall, $3.8 million is being invested in extending the chilled water distribution system to the new Dining and Wellness Center. And finally, the North Oconee Access Road Park and Ride will expand by 400 parking spaces, costing $1.96 million. This brings the total investment in campus improvements to over $30 million. Construction is expected to wrap up by early August, just in time for the fall semester. This from the Red and Black. In sports from the Athens Banner Herald and Dog Nation, another Georgia football player has been arrested for racing on a highway. Linebacker Smail Mondon was taken into custody Wednesday night by Athens-Clarke County Police on charges of racing and reckless driving. Mondon was released early Thursday on a $26 bond. This follows the arrest of redshirt freshman offensive lineman Bo Hewley on similar misdemeanor charges earlier in the week. Now, speaking of football, Georgia will not be going out to California to open the 2025 season, nor will UCLA be coming to Athens in 2026. Georgia announced that the future series against UCLA was canceled and that instead Georgia will open next season against Marshall. That game will be played in Athens on August 30th of 2025. And finally, according to the American Automobile Association, Athens has the second least expensive gas prices regionally, averaging $3.24 per gallon. This comes as Georgia gas prices have seen a slight increase post-July 4th, with the state average now at $3.32 per gallon, 1 cent higher than this time last year. Montre Waiters from AAA warns that the brewing hurricane season could impact gas prices further. To save money, AAA recommends shopping around, paying with cash, and joining fuel savings programs. This from the Red and Black.
Thanks for listening to the Athens-Clarke County Cast. And don't forget to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
This podcast is a production of BG Ad Group. All rights reserved.
This podcast aggregate content from other sources for informational purposes and is in no way trying to infringe on the copyrights or businesses of any other entities. All content posted up on the site is used under the Fair Use Copyright Law 107. All audio, media, and articles are copyrighted to the original owners. All audio on this podcast are embedded from YouTube.com and are owned by the respective copyright owners. No audio information are copyrighted or stored on our servers. The court ruled that linking or embedding copyrighted videos is not copyright infringement, even if the source video was uploaded without permission. However, However, we will gladly remove any audio clip upon valid request from respective copyright owners. Any owners also have the option to disable embedding his YouTube videos on other websites. News and press articles are owned by the respective copyright owners. Where possible, the appropriate accreditation or source of the article is given on the same page. The audio-video files on the site are for listening purposes only. Downloading of these files to one's computer is strictly prohibited. They are owned by the respective copyright owners. If it is in the organization's belief that the usage or specific content used on our site containing copyrighted knowledge conflicts with authorized use and/or does not comply with fair use as described in the context, contact us through our contact page and we will remove the offending content immediately. Thanks for listening to the Athens-Clarke County Cast.